want you all to see me if you're watching now, just me staring at a screen. We live on Twitch. We are live on Twitch. Twitch wasn't kicking over. Hey, everybody, we're live in 3 places. This is the Blathering. I'm Ken Napzok, and we have got a full show for you tonight in the hour plus that we are going to be here. I appreciate you being here. Episode 229 in the ongoing series of me versus my own distractions in my brain. We are going to be looking at the big NFL weekend for me, but maybe a bad NFL weekend for sports fans. We'll let producer Steve explain that one there. We have a quick update in the big heist from last week, but even that update isn't what I thought it was when I made the thumbnail. We'll dive in. I might be administered a cognitive test tonight. Can I, too, be smarter than a president? We'll find out. Producer Steve's going to help with that as well. I want to give get some advice calls going. It's Advice Monday. I got Blathering mailbag. That's a little different. We got the fun questions that come in. Can I beat 2,000 geese while only getting a pack of frozen bread? There's those kind of things which I love. But then we got advice questions today. Wiley Todd inspired us last week. Shout out to Wiley Todd. Who maybe we'll get an update from Wiley. Maybe we'll get an update as he was pursuing respectfully last week. Major Problems is back. Evan's going to call in. Bottom of the hour. Really excited for this to launch a new little bite-sized interview segment. Because, the interviews back in the day on the Napzok Files were the bread and butter. I love bread and I love butter. But those were long-form interviews. I still do those every once in a while if I'm feeling it. But now we have a new segment called A Cool Thing About. And today we're going to have comedian Greg Benevent on the show at the bottom of the hour. Pittsburgh Steeler fan. Maybe we'll talk about that. But he's got a cool little fact about him that's going to kick off this series. So that'll be at the bottom of the hour. And I trust and I hope you will welcome him. Programming note before I bring in producer Steve. Thursday is the big show where we are going to decide the best horror villain of all time. We're getting right into it. The entire show is going to be about that. The Dolphins will be playing in the background. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be watching the Dolphins play the Ravens. There's new hope in Miami. I've never had a 2-6 record bring so much hope for one of my sporting teams. But we're going to get right to it. Hopefully lining up some special guests to come on in here and help us decide this. We are going to have a lot of fun on Thursday. But that's the show there. But producer Steve is here now. David McKay's asking an important question. Was Greg Benevent involved in the Louvre heist? He was not, that I know of, but he could. He could be. How you doing, producer Steve?
How's it going, Ken? Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for having me, as always. Much appreciated. Excited to talk about all the things, the jewel thieves, the sports equinox, the are you smarter than the president test. We've got a lot to get to today.
So, hold up. How real is I saw a little bit of the Air Force One press conference, which of all the things to criticize, I don't know if this is out of form, but I do love the press conference where he just kind of hangs in the doorway of an airplane.
Oh, yeah. Right.
It just answers questions. How true was it, producer Steve, that he was like, AOC, she is low IQ, I am smart. In fact, I passed, and it was a cognitive test? That
was actually
true?
That was a great quote, Ken. Actually, you nailed it. And the one detail you left out is Marco Rubio is usually somewhere over his shoulder in the hallway of Air Force One that you see while they're giving. You just see a head a shadowy head in the background. That's almost always Rubio. So yeah, that was essentially what it was. He called out Jasmine Crockett, the representative from Texas, and AOC from New York, saying that they're both low IQ and that he has higher cognitive test scores than them, which again are not. Cognitive tests don't measure IQ. Cognitive tests are generally given to people that need to take them. And same thing with MRIs. I don't know about you, Ken. I generally don't get a yearly MRI as part of my physical or anything like that. He's now had 2 this year, according to him. But he says they're the greatest results ever. So yeah, we'll see if you can pass any of the questions from the same test that he is so much bragging about that he says AOC and Jasmine Crockett wouldn't score nearly as well. So
I hope, can we reach out to their people right now? Maybe we can get them on right now. I'd love to do it. Take that. Can you pick up Jeff? So we're gonna do that. Yeah, and only he would be like, they say the results of my 2 MRIs are the best, the greatest results of a post-stroke MRI ever. It's they always want to bring the old days back. I will give him credit here. And you know, this was a little bit in the last administration too. I want to play fair for once here. But I do love that we have an old school, our president has had a stroke and we're trying to keep it secret. Woodrow Wilson's wife was the first actual female president kind of controversy going on. It's really vintage. It's nostalgia based for me.
All these Reagan Republicans, they wanted it's just another flavor of that. That was probably the last time we had. I mean, Biden, yes, was, a little doddering at the end, but I don't know if they were really weekending at Bernie's him the way that Reagan was at the very, very end, but we'll see.
We will see. That too. Nancy, yeah. Mommy.
Yeah.
All right. So if you got some advice, I want to, you need some advice out there. Mondays are for advice. I want some of that there. Like I said, I think that's all the news. I think that's where we're going. All right. So do you want the little update here? We got an update from Wiley. We're going to take off from Evan here. So I put in the thumbnails, like, what should we talk about? And then the news broke over the weekend. They arrested the Paris Louvre jewel heisters, a big arrest in the case. And then I was very disappointed to learn, Steve. This is why you always got to do a little bit of that research. Ask your own questions, as they'd say on Austin, Texas-based podcast. The dapper dude in that photo that went viral outside the gate of the Louvre, you had the French police, and you had the guy. Everyone's like, "That's the detective." He was just a passerby. I was so disappointed that dude in the fedora with the scarf that wasn't the inspector handling the case all along.
It would have been even better if that was the guy and he was just there as cover, or one of the guys. But yeah,
maybe. Yeah. So yeah, they broke, but I gotta, unfortunately, Steve. It's not much. Paris prosecutor, quote, deeply regrets arrest of Louvre jewel heist suspects being made public during the investigation. So 2 French nationals were arrested. One literally 1 foot out the door on a plane heading to Africa. He was heading to Mali, I think. I'm scrolling. Jesus, how many?
I'm reading some of the. Yeah, so he was stopped at the Charles de Gaulle Airport, which is like the JFK or the LaGuardia of France airports. So it's like, again, everyone applauded these guys for how smart they were using like this elevator thing to get up, to clean the windows, to break through, and then to get out. And then the guy decided the best way to run away was to just take I-95 to JFK essentially, and so that's what he got caught on. Trying to flee the country. At least he was getting out of the country, because usually, some of the idiots really don't even do that. But at least he was trying to flee. We'll give him criminal points for that. But no, they only found 2 of the 4. I haven't seen anything about whether or not they've recovered any of, like, additionally any more of the stuff that was stolen. I kind of doubt it at this point. It's been a little bit of a while. It's been a few days since this stuff happened. They said it doesn't usually last that long. But they said they've tied them to like forensic evidence. But other than that, not they're not dropping the mission accomplished banner from the Eiffel Tower. You know what I mean?
And I respect that. I respect that this French investigator is like, look, we'll provide additional information at the end of all of this, please. We feel bad that it's out there. I thought that was pretty nice there, too. I'm scrolling back through my phone. I think I have pictures of these crown jewels from my trip there in 2023.
Oh, I was wondering where we were going with that for a second, but yeah, okay, all good on YouTube.
I was part of it. I was part of the heist. Did I let that slip? I'm gonna scroll back. Anyways, but Steve, we know these jewels are in the wind. We're not getting these jewels back, right?
I can't imagine. If these 2 guys were connected to getting them back, I feel like that's the first thing the French authorities would have been shouting from the rooftop was like, "Hey, we got them," or like, "We still have them," or "Hey, we'll get them back," kind of thing. I don't know. I don't feel good about it though.
I'm looking at my pictures of the Louvre now. No, that's a different one. Now I'm a suspect in that case.
That looks good, though. Yeah.
Looks good.
They might call you for that. They'd be like, hey, we might need that angle. Or someone might be in the background of that picture that was like case in the joint. You never know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Could be. All right. Michael McCarcel says those jewels are in some drug lord's collection.
I think Marvel villain.
I think you're right there. We'll get to a lot of cool things here in a second, but we're going to get to some other cool things now. Bottom of the hour, Greg Benevent, comedian, is scheduled to be here to talk about one little cool thing about him. But should we open up the phones here and begin with maybe an update from our friend Wiley Todd? Wiley, how you doing, buddy? I'm assuming you have an update about your call last Monday. How are you? Wiley? That's how good. That's how good. Mr. Wiley Todd. Wiley. He's been taken. Oh, God, the rapture did happen. It happened. Wiley got up. All right, Wiley, we'll come back to Wiley.
Here, so.
Let's take a returning call here from Major Problems, a.k.a. Evan. Evan, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you back on the show.
Hey, Ken, it's good to be back.
Ooh, our system works, Steve. I thought it was us first. It turns out it was Wiley. Evan, what's on your mind?
Well, I just realized that if there was a rapture, I wasn't taken, so I'm
You're
a
out
little
of it, man.
disappointed. I thought me and him were on good terms. Apparently not. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. You've done a lot of good. Even just in your job alone, you've probably done some good. You think that would get you in, but that's not today. We learned it. What's your question? It's Advice Monday. You don't need to ask an advice question though, because we're so happy to have you calling back into the show. But where are you going?
Oh, well, I could use some advice. It's been a little while since I called back in, and just busy keeping up with life and work and current events. And I think, like a lot of people, I'm teetering on hope and despair every day, depending on what the news is.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, give me something to be optimistic about, guys.
I got this.
Okay,
I got this. No, I got this.
Steve.
Okay.
This is literally one of the notes I was writing to Ken today. Sorry, I'm a little hot. One of the notes I was writing to Ken today was like, "There's good news." Like, because first of all, Tom Lamas has got me on NBC Nightly News with the whole "There's good news tonight" segment.
Okay.
There's good news in the Blathering tonight, Ken. I read something today about mRNA vaccines, like the COVID vaccine specifically, being tested and just like kicking cancer's ass. Basically, like any cancer they were thrown at it, it was just like, nope, get that shit out of here. So we're making progress, folks. The problem is it's the most controversial vaccine in medical science that we've had in the last 5 years because morons, but it is still like there is hope in that medical science is still not. There's still some addies out there that are doing the work, the Lord's work that needs to be done. And so, yeah, there we go. Vaccine progress for things like cancer is on the horizon.
We're sciencing the shit out of it. I love it.
I think that's pretty good. Now, my big worry is, who gets behind it, to squash it, who kills the electric car, that vibe, That's what I worry about.
The Matt Damon movie where they have the cancer cells up in the space station in the sky.
That's
Elysium,
right.
I think.
It's right. Yes. Good pull.
Elysium.
Good pull.
Yep. Yeah.
Good pull. All right. Did we give you enough hope?
I feel hopeful. I've been restored. Thank you, guys.
All right. Is that it? Well, no, I'm not letting you go that easy. You,
okay.
you haven't called in for weeks. What else is on your mind, man? I want to know.
What else is on my mind? Well, I got a 2-year-old screaming, getting ready for bed. I know you don't have any kids, Ken, and Steve. I believe you just welcomed a Padawan into the world.
Second.
Wonderful.
Second. Yep.
So Ken, since you're not a parent, what if you had a screaming toddler in the other room getting ready for bed? What would you do?
Oh man, that's a great question. I would hope the nanny would get it. I would hope the nanny would pick it up. Not even sure what the nanny's name is. Not even sure what the kid's name is. Yeah, I hope.
At first, I thought you said Franny, and I was like, "Oh no."
Oh well, yeah. Well, I locked Franny out of the office today. She's been kind of a pill. Yeah, I don't know. I know Evan and Steve. I'd be a good parent. I used to want to be a parent. I used to dream of being a parent, and then about 20 years ago, I squashed that dream. But I'd handle it. I wouldn't be doing as many live streams. I'd be following the producer Steve route, responsible parenting.
I try.
Is that good enough answer, Evan?
I think so. I think I would love to hear Ken and Ken Jr. or Kenneth on a Force Center breaking down Bright Tree Village or the Ewoks or something like that. That would be a treat. Maybe that's a what if universe.
Yeah.
Well, Alden was on Force Center like a week or two ago. I mean, that's about as close as you're gonna get.
That's
So,
as close as you're gonna get. Yeah, that's true. That was a good one.
Uncle Ken, Father Ken. Yeah, I think Uncle Ken's probably more fun anyway. So.
Yeah, Uncle Ken's all right. He's absentee as well. Evan, I appreciate you calling back. Yeah, go handle that, kiddo. All right.
Thanks, guys.
I could tell Steve when he's like, "There's a kid." I've gone too far in this phone call. There's a kid now that needs me.
It's always a good ace in the hole if you got to go.
This is Blathering Live on a Monday. Advice Monday. If you've got some advice, we got a question already. Also, super chat. Thank you. James Holmes checking in from the UK with that. But Wiley Todd says he's back. Wiley Todd says he's back. Wiley, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, man. We are all dying for the update. To set the context here, you had maybe someone you wanted to maybe get to know, but to do that, you might have had to declare your intentions, and you're wondering the best way in a modern age to do that, and that might have included going to see her perform some music, which you might have had a connection with a friend, and maybe we suggested bring the friend, just kind of introduce yourselves naturally, no DMs. What's the update? How did it go?
Okay, first and foremost, there's not a massive update so far, but I'm going to try to treat these Mondays as update segments, and I'm going to try to keep like a narrative that have like a little something to add to the show. So
love it.
Update from last week. So we ended the conversation, like you just said, of going with a friend to a show. Okay. 2 days later, she announces she has 2 upcoming shows. Okay.
Okay.
So that was a big update, but I started freaking out. So I kind of figured out the logistics. The first show was more of a suit and tie type of thing at a hotel. I don't dress well. Okay. I don't dress well. So that option was out. Okay. I don't own a suit. So that option's already out of the question. Okay. So then the other one was like a show that you could buy a ticket at an art gallery. And I was like, you know what? Sure. But there was other prior engagements to that. No telling if my friend could come to that time. So basically I was like, I'm not going to go, but I want to support, the same way I would support you, Ken, or any of the people I follow by sending like a super chat or something, the same way, thinking of that way. Okay. So I decided to buy a ticket to the show to kind of help out. No, don't need to make a statement or anything. So I just bought a ticket, I couldn't go. Okay. Moving on. So then I found out it was her birthday recently. And I saw that on a post, she had like dinner with another person. Okay. And I'm sure we all been there. My mind started racing with all these opportunities and things like that. But I stayed calm and I wasn't reactionary or whatever, basically, which I have been in the past in my younger self, So I've been working on myself in that way. So basically, that's the update. There was an opportunity to meet, but we all discussed the best ways to probably go with a friend. And I've kept that in mind and kind of cut that as my code of conduct to kind of go with that. But that's the small update with that situation.
I love this. This is an open and honest update. I appreciate this is going to be the new narrative on Mondays going forward. Will Wiley fall in love? So a lot to unpack here in a wonderful tiny update here. I still think Steve, back me up here or disagree with me. I think you're playing it right. I think you're not forcing the issue. And I've been there. I have been there when you're doing the obsessive checking of the social media and then something pops up and you go, oh, who's that? Oh, who's that? Oh, God, it's over, right? Like, oh, God, I've been there. In fact, I was there about 2 weeks before my life changed in 2017 and had then 8 wonderful years with someone. So it is not always what we think it is. And the best way to react, Wiley, is number 1, cry yourself to sleep that night. And 2, realize it's still going to be okay no matter what the direction this goes. I think you're handling it good. Steve?
Yeah, first I want to say I would like to attempt to solve the puzzle. Is the woman you're talking about Lily Allen?
No, sadly.
Damn. Okay. Because I've randomly saw a headline today eating lunch and it was like, the first thing that came to my head was like, is this the chick Wiley? Is it from Ken's show? Like, is
he friends with David Harbour?
Yeah, I was like, Wiley, he sounds better looking than David Harbour. I mean, just
we go way back.
Yeah, you could take him. But okay, so I was wrong there. Fair enough. Okay, so I think you're playing it slow but safe is good. Don't get beat up over. My advice here is don't get beat up over information don't let misinformation or half filled in information put you in a different state of mind than the one you were on that you thought was bringing you to a good place. You know what I mean? There's no reason to like self-sidetrack because you saw her with some himbo on Instagram that was like at her show as well. You know what I mean? Just because like you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So don't just assume the worst. But I am going to tell you this. The best time to act is now. You got to you got to push the train forward. So my question to you is, what is the next action? How are we going to move this forward a little bit?
Okay, so I want to add more to this and who I am as a whole, because I think it would set
I love that.
picture basically. Okay. Like I said, Ken, I'm going to try to come into these and like kind of create a narrative and then ask a question that could help me on my journey of life. Okay.
This is great.
And I've been watching you, Ken, forever. We met in Orlando. We got a nice picture. I have it.
I don't believe you, but okay.
Yeah. But so one thing about me is when I was starting to learn to drive, I know this probably is going to make you date, but that's not what I'm doing. Okay.
Sure.
I'm not trying to make you date. Okay. When I was learning to drive, I didn't really have a need to do it. Okay. There was no need for me to go because all I was doing was consuming your guys' content and making my own stuff. Okay. That's all I was doing in high school. There's nothing else. But basically, I started to learn. And then when high school was over, I was like, okay, I'll start to do it. Started to build my confidence. And then I had a minor wreck. No one got hurt or anything, but it shook me up. Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, I've had to kind of teach myself over years to be comfortable driving in places. So I can only drive a certain distance to places.
Feel you. Okay.
Okay. And I work on it constantly. I beat myself up about it quite a bit and stuff like that. But luckily, my job and things like that are all online. All the shows I watch, your guys' stuff is online. And I kind of beat myself up about that a little bit more. So, and I sit in this room that I'm currently talking in all day, every day, and it gets down to me. But it's not like I could just hop in the car and go somewhere. There are a few coffee shops around whatsoever. And to kind of tie this out to what your question to me was and how I'm going to proceed forward is one of the things I've been trying to do is work on myself and better myself and stuff like that. And I want to get out more and do stuff. So as someone that does this podcasting stuff, I don't know what's beyond the screen, Ken, besides what you tell us, but how do you deal with being in your studio all day? How do you deal with the mental struggles and where do you go to get an escape, that type of thing, you know, like more metaphorically?
It's a real struggle, and I'm a big proponent of working at home. I actually get really grumpy when I see people like, "Wow, we're having a back to office kind of mandate." Like, I understand it. I think a lot of it has to do with the real estate prices you're all taking baths on, but whatever. But at the same time, I was just talking about it with a friend of mine who had to go back to office for like 2 or 3 days, and he was like, I kind of like it because I'm going crazy in my house. And I do think that is something we have to be aware of. So I can go a couple days. I'm always going to take a little walk. I'm fortunate enough to have I have a backyard where I can go out as of right now. And my gym's in my garage. So I have to leave. I have to get fresh air at some point. But I much like Billy the Kid in the Young Guns movies, I'm a coy dog. Meaning I have to go attract attention, not in terms of romantic, but just like I have to go be around people and I have to go chop it up, as they say. As a comic, like I got to get a show Saturday night, that kind of counts as going out, but you're still kind of working. But I make a point about once every 2 weeks, whether I can afford it or not, whether I'm just getting out and walking around downtown Burbank and not buying anything, I go seek the people. I need to break up the routine. And sometimes I did that a couple Sundays ago. I didn't shoot my ASMR videos on the time I do it. I didn't watch football at a certain time. I went for a hike with Franny and change up the routine, seek fresh air, seek people. That's my formula.
Okay. And that's the thing is like, for me, that is a coffee shop where I do take a mental walk, you know, and stuff like that. But my point is kind of add into the situation. I think our conclusion to last week of going at the friend, I think is the best opportunity, because that's my way into where I'm not having to go, "Hi, I'm Wiley." Instead, I have a friend introducing me and then seeing where he goes from there.
Yeah.
And I want to maybe get out more and kind of go out to a coffee shop. And tell me if this is a rude thing to do nowadays. If I was at a coffee shop, and I've heard this all over social media, when you're in a coffee shop and you see someone like, oh, they have a cool shirt, and you compliment them on them, they say that makes their day, people in general. And is that appropriate to do nowadays, or would that be intrusive? Like, what is the code of conduct on that nowadays?
God, I sound so old. I sound like a crusty old comic. You can't talk to anyone these days. No, I think here's the thing. The fact that you're questioning how or why shows that your intentions are pretty good, just in terms of just you're trying to be conversational. And if you pick up the vibe, and I'm not even talking in a romantic sense, but just in a friendly sense, that person wants to receive it, I think that can be okay. I think when you know you've gone too far, I've done that. We joke about the Gen Z stare, but when you're overly affable, sometimes you're taking away the other person's agency to peace or calm or hey fucker, I'm just here at the coffee shop. So it's a tough case by case basis. Steve, you seem like the type of dude that chats up the person clerking you out in a good way. How do you approach it?
Clerking me out, that sounds naughty. No, but you're right. I will talk someone's ear off just for the sake of it, because I talk and do the chit chat thing as like a defense mechanism, because I hate like the awkward silence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So going back to like radio days of like an alarm going off. So I always try to fill air, fill sound. But no, I think so that's where I come from. But I also think the personable thing is a good thing. I think it's always good if you like someone's shirt. Yes, you are going to make their day. B, it's an easy way to start talking to them. And C, we need more. Hey, that's a nice shirt. People in the world, we just do. The world, society needs more people who are going to verbally tell someone, hey, I like your shirt, even though you're a complete stranger. Another great plug for sports, because I talk to more strangers by just walking down an aisle and saying, go Birds to someone in a shirt, and then we never see each other ever again. But we both say go Birds to each other. We have a huge smile, and then our day continues.
Yeah, I agree with that, Wiley. And I unfortunately I wear that LA Dodgers cap sometimes, and I get a lot of "Go Dodgers," and I'm like, Yankees are the best baseball team of all time. But thank you for your consideration. I just love the city I live in. But no, Wiley, I agree with Steve. Again, I think Addy in chat says, don't make conversation with the universal sign for don't talk to me. Headphones. Absolutely right. Or if you've tried to be overly affable and they don't return it, then don't keep pushing the issue. Because I have that neighbor, the mega neighbor across from my house, that literally will walk out on his porch and he'll just start chatting to people. And if they don't turn to him and have just this wonderful, isn't God and the Son great conversation, he starts saying, no one chats to anyone anymore. That is where I find more conservative leaning people push their own boundaries over onto other people's boundaries. You know, that's the whole, I say Merry Christmas. Good job. I don't celebrate it. What are you going to do? Like, that's kind of where, and I take it, it gets political with me on that kind of thing. And that ain't you, Wiley. So I think you're doing okay. And when, in terms of going back to this potential lady friend, the friend is the key. The friend is the key. You got to wait for that friend.
Yeah. And I am. That's why I was asking these other questions, to kind of, in the meantime, till the stars align, if you will, to improve myself and conversation skills and getting out there more to kind of prove overall mental health in the situation could probably have better chances.
I love that, Wiley. Appreciate the a follow up, the update, and more to come. This is a good thing. Thank you, sir.
See you next Monday.
All right, Wiley Todd. See you next Monday. All right, this is going to be fun here. We're going to start a new segment on the show here called "A Cool Thing About." This is where I bring up someone that I know out there in the wilds of real life, and we have a conversation about something that the world doesn't know about them. And we're going to get to that here in a second. Producer Steve, are you excited for this? Did we lead Wiley down the right path?
I think we did. I thought we did a good job of. I think Wiley has a solid head on his shoulders the way he's approaching this. He's being patient. That's the key. He's not rushing. He's not kind of jumping to conclusions. So I'm excited for our next update.
There you go. All right. I'm going to drop you out, Producer Steve, and then I might bring you back in if I can figure out the new technical side of this window I created on StreamYard. All right, Producer Steve will be back in a second. But right now, I am going to bring to the show a very wonderful, talented, funny comedian, a great host, which is a second skill inside the comedy world and is very hard to do. And that's how we met. Please welcome to the show, launching our Cool Thing About segment, Mr. Greg Benevent. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Now we can hear you.
Definitely
yes.
Can't hear him, but he's pointing.
You're pointing. Can you hear me?
Do I have to press this button? What's happening here?
What can you
No, that didn't help the
do?
It's,
We're both being heard. He just can't hear me.
no.
He can't hear
This
me.
is unfortunate. I'm pressing all the different buttons on my little thing I have. I still can't hear him. Let me try this.
Maybe
No. Is it? Wait.
just go the
Did that
laptop
get it?
off.
No, that didn't do it. There are other buttons I can try. What about those? No.
No,
That?
no.
Going to make
What
it
about
even worse
what's
for
your
my
export?
stomach. My stomach
What
does
is?
kick in.
Oh, he can't hear me. I'm going to try to type it in here. Let's see. Can you change the sound export? Let's see. See that message in the private chat? No?
Oh.
Or just go. He's typing. I love the sound of the typing. Well, I'm gonna. Oops. Oh, that is not what we're doing there. Producer Steve, you're back on.
Yeah, I love the typing too because it sounds like he's doing like Morse code. Like I'm just waiting for like the little like pauses in between. Like, sir, we need like reinforcements on the front line. Like that's what I'm thinking.
This is Greg's gonna come back in. This is the one thing that I was like, oh no, if I'm taking guests live, we can't do a tech test before. You know, they're going to call in live, and he's hacking. That's James is generally enjoying this. We're waiting for Greg to check back in. He's just going to go, hopefully, with the laptop. We don't need the heads of the mic sound. Update on fantasy football. Pacheco has 3 yards and 1 carry. For those in the Blathering Fantasy Football League, and I'm going to keep this blank screen up because I don't want to mess up my tech. Jared, so I'm 0-7. I've had the worst fantasy team I've had my entire fantasy football life, Steve. And on paper, it's not as bad. 3 people out with injuries this week. Oh, 2 of them my starting quarterbacks, Penix and Jaden Daniels. And then my wide receiver, A.J. Brown, who finally has a big game. He's out. Darren Waller's out. But I end up having the best week I've ever had. But Jared and I are at a 50% to 50% win-loss chance, and it all comes down to the Kansas City Chiefs running back, Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, this was a tough week for football in general. Football sucked, and you're not wrong with what you had to deal with as far as injuries. And we'll let you. I'll be on Pacheco watch while you guys get your interview going.
Whoa.
All right, Mr. Greg Benevent, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
I've definitely. I feel like I have to say I've used technology before. I had no idea. That was sad. I don't know, my phone it let me down here.
That's okay. I have full confidence in you because you've run live streams. You've used StreamYard. It's just sometimes the export of the sound, the headphones, it messes it up. It doesn't matter. But what I'm excited to do is launch this new segment. A cool thing about this is where I bring on, as I said, someone I know, someone I've met, and let them talk about a cool thing about them. And Greg, you're the first of this segment, but also I gotta kind of lead you here a little bit. It's one of the coolest things you mentioned in your act. But you, sir, have graced the cover of Nintendo Power Magazine.
No, not the cover. Not the cover.
Not the cover?
People here, I'd say the bit about how I was featured in the April 1992 issue of Nintendo Power Magazine. And I always have to point out I wasn't the cover. I use the word featured as in I appear in it. My name does, my location. But I say that and people hear the cover. You're not the first person to have said
We're so hopeful. We're so hopeful. Who was on the cover? What month was it? What year month?
Well, it was actually, I want to say it was April 1992. I do know that the cover was Ken Griffey Jr. It was when the Nintendo had bought a controlling stake in the Seattle Mariners. And I heard you guys talk about sports earlier. You mentioned Pacheco, the Chiefs running back. It's when the Mariners went from the very Brewers-looking colors they had to that really sweet kind of teal that they still use to this day. And Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball was released for the Super Nintendo. This was Nintendo Power pushing that game, and there was a picture of Ken Griffey playing the game and faking a big smile. That was the cover.
Synergy. Well, from the kid to you were featured, and you're right to correct me. You're right. It was
I just
a
don't want
Mandela
her to go
effect.
looking like that guy wasn't on the cover. That's not a claymation Simon Belmont. No.
Someone's going to do it. Why were you featured in Nintendo Power? That's the heart of the story that I love.
they had challenges that you could submit yourself to, and I had at the time the second best time in the world on the Choco Island 1 course in the original Super Mario Kart. It's the first course in the second circuit. It's the one that frankly looks kind of disgusting if you're going by the way those look for those. I assume folks watching this right now are the kind of nerd that can remember by memory old Super Mario Kart courses from 3 decades ago. It's the one that made you giggle the most inappropriately as a child. That was Choco Island 1. I actually, since you mentioned it, I used to use this prop in my act before the pandemic. I don't think you saw it, Ken. I actually have a blow up of the page that I use. Here we go. This is, I don't know if I could hold it up.
Yes.
There's Greg Benevent, Wexford,
yes.
PA. It's here. You got the whole, I don't know if I could sit far enough back from my laptop.
That's amazing. You're a power player.
And it's to show you how old I am and how old this was. You can kind of see this at the bottom. To send in, you had to take a picture of your TV screen, develop the pictures, and then mail them in. And I still remember the old man complaining about that.
Like, Dad, I'm pursuing fame. I'm pursuing power in the Nintendo world. So the second, I'm going to assume overall you're an amazing Mario Kart player.
I haven't played in decades. I mean, I was addicted. It was a real problem. I still watch people play video games. I do that. But that's I'm a dry drunk. I mean, it's a methadone. but no, I mean, I played once during the pandemic, drunk, because I couldn't go outside, and it was, it was like the guy playing the piano in Shine. I mean, it was Paul Newman jumping over the hurdles at the start of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Like the thumbs, they remembered, the body did not.
I want this. This needs to be some sort of documentary on your YouTube channel, but like some kind of quasi fiction based. That's amazing. I think we got to find a way. Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's what you got to be pitching to the networks is one man trying to return to the Mario Kart world. At what point, as you're a kid playing this game, are you like, holy crap, I'm pretty good at Mario Kart?
I think it was I mean, I can't remember specifically. It's I'm an only child, so and a lot of my friends frankly played sports, and I was the heavy sensitive kid, so I did not. So I mean, it's not like I played a lot of video games against other people, but I think it was just, I feel like I'd submitted multiple things. Like, I know at some point I'd submitted a perfect 70,000 point score on Star Fox, and they took just the first 10 nerds that had submitted that. So I feel like I was just, in preparation for as an adult spamming things. I was like, okay, I did this. I'm going to keep sending this in until eventually they take me. And, so that was, so I mean, it wasn't like, wow, I've arrived. It's like, wow, I haven't gotten in yet, and we're going to keep trying, darn it.
You just keep it, but you get in with the second fastest time in the world. There's a lot of people playing Mario Kart at this time on this track.
What was this? Volume 59. I mean, that doesn't mean, and it's not like it is now. I mean, once in college, I remember I looked it up. There it is. Thank you.
There it is. Producer Steve has got he's got it up.
That's what I look at the acting the kid is doing here. He is really selling it in this take. And but yeah, I mean, I looked it up once on Twin Galaxies, and this back when I was in college, which was not recently, and people had crushed me by several seconds. So I mean, it's actually, you know what? I did look it up a couple years ago, and the best time in the world is currently in Agora Hills. So it's not impossible that I could run into whoever this is that's still out there crushing Choco Island 1 like it Ralph's.
But Greg, this is the story. We that's close to us. We pack up the Nissan Sentra and we head on out to Agora Hills, and you go knocking on this kid's door and say, "I want my crown back." This is the pic. This is Go Picture.
I doubt it's a kid. I doubt whoever store that is a kid.
True.
My guess is that's not a kid.
That's true. Whatever divorced dad who it's not his weekend. We get over there, and this is the movie.
I imagine that house looks like the House in Weapons, where they have like all the newspapers up on the wall. Like I imagine it, the windows are blocked out. That's the most topical reference I'm going to have this entire time we're on. Everything else is decades old.
Okay, so this gets posted. This gets posted. What we said, 92 or 93 magazine. Steve, do you have a
this is telling me April 94.
April 94. Oh, the year I graduated high school in June of 94. This is prime time Mario Kart era. Oof.
I thought it was much earlier than that. I got to be honest. Okay, I don't know if I just found out I'm younger or not. Thank you to Steve or whoever it was that just said that.
Your birth certificate just changed. So when this posts in April 94, how much does your life change?
I mean, I remember, I remember bragging. I mean, I remember telling people, but it's also, something that's so important to keep in mind now is that it's not like today. There was not anything remotely like this online community of people that cared, that were impressed, that were emotionally connected. I mean, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. It's in the nice suburbs. I went to middle school with Christina Aguilera. This was not a place of big nerditry, and if there was, they sure weren't impressed with me bragging about my very tenuous connection to Ken Griffey Jr.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did we, in talking about a cool thing about you, discover an even cooler thing? You went to middle school with ex-Tina?
Me. I never knew her. She was a little bit older than me. I remember once I went to this one kid's house. His parents wouldn't let him have TV. They were her neighbor, and he spent the entire night playing Chinese checkers and telling me how much he had a crush on her. And it's, I don't think I ever actually met her. He made his own pants. He tried to join Anti-Flag, a very popular punk band. This is all coming back to me. I haven't thought about this in decades. But
this is exactly what the segment's for. Wow, there's a lot of things going on in the Pittsburgh
I
suburbs.
lived up to the blathering right there. That was I made the branding true.
So I know I got to let you go to have some fun here tonight. I appreciate you stopping by, but the final big thing
I'm so glad to have it. I'm glad to be on your thing after all the times I seen you. I had you on my show. It's always good to see you, Ken.
No, we'll do more, man. And I hope the Blathering community gives you a follow. We'll tell the links are down here in the YouTube description on the Instagram side. Come out if you're local, see Greg host a show or do a show. But so, all right. So we joke. This doesn't necessarily change your life. It's April 1994. The world looks at video games a little different. But how do you, as someone listed at one point having the second best time for a thing in a video game in the world, bang, zoom, the world, how do you look as at the over the years the emergence of esports? And have you ever thought bitterly, I could have been a contender? Or have you thought about, shouldn't I be in some sort of Hall of Fame and be a guest at these events?
Well, two things. One, I later that year, or maybe it was the next year, I ran for student council president, and I did win. I was impeached because I committed fraud. I gave away the bouncing balls as part of our magazine campaign. I gave a very funny speech. This is so a bit, it wasn't tied to the Mario Kart thing, but it was like part of my growth as a teen. But to speak to your other point about, it's like a lot of things as I got older, have an enlightenment about stuff. Like, okay, yes, there is a parallel dimension where I'm born in another time, and I'm one of these and I'm on the Twitch and YouTube, and I'm the pro gamer and the big money. But part of me thinks, it's if you're gaming out parallel dimensions, you have to look at the negative possibilities too. I mean, as somebody that used to weigh 300 pounds, maybe I still do. Maybe I have the heart attack at the young age. Maybe something bad happens to me. I mean, it's, I can't just say, oh, I'd have had the money, and that's the only way this parallel dimension can go. Boy, that is not the only choice on the route tree.
That is deeply philosophical, Greg. That is deeply philosophical. I would have chased the glory and died young in Mario Kart, but you are living now. Yeah, first, Laser Bolt is saying in chat, this is a great doc in the making. I'm going to let you go, and I know you got something to do tonight. But what? This is why I want to do the segment. We got one cool thing about you. You're a ranked player in Mario Kart at the height of Mario Kart, but you also grew up in the same neighborhood as ex-Tina, whether she was there or not. But also, you were a fraudulent high school, middle school politician. This is amazing. We learned a lot.
Yeah. It's we've got that was yes. I mean, it's sad. I moved to Hollywood and got into acting, comedy, and writing, and my life was far less interesting than when I was 13. But yes, that's all true too.
Well, there we go. We learned a cool thing about Greg Benevent. Hey, for those out there in the Blathering community, please do me a favor. As I start to bring more of these guests onto the show, give them a follow. There's a link down below if you're watching on Instagram. Pop over, tell Greg we sent you if you're listening later. And Greg, you've got a lot of interesting things in your past. One of the things I absolutely love is you give fitness advice. You, as you mentioned, were heavier, and you made the decision what was best for you to go ahead and get in different shape and approach life differently. And you've kept that going, and you have great advice. So I want people to follow that too.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do. That means a lot.
All right, Greg Benevent, everybody, give him a follow. We'll see you at the CF Floppers this weekend, sir.
Probably. Take it easy. Have a good day.
All right, there we go. Greg, check it in there. Franny, check it in as well. She has been an absolute pill today. I don't know what to do with her, Franny. No. How do you do it? So there you go, Steve. That was quite a journey. Mario Kart journey. Xtina.
That was great. No, I love that, and I've been having fun as you guys were talking, just flipping through this Nintendo Power article or version that he's talking about. I'm gonna show you this really quickly on my. I was just flipping through. This is one of the pages from the edition that he's talking about. I noticed in the corner there was a Lord of the Rings game. I don't know what it was on, and I caught this picture that they used, and it says, "What ended up as Gandalf started with Aaron Pavlish in a bathrobe, wearing a sombrero, holding a beard in his mouth."
See, I love the early days of
amazing.
Figuring out video games and everything. All right, let's go ahead. Top of the hour, we'll do some sports here, but let's get some calls in here. Let me make sure we got the right setup. I'm still trying to figure out. I hate the camera rotation, drives me insane, but that's just business meeting talk on camera. Let us go ahead and bring in our resident professor of smart things, Dr. Addie, calling into the show here. And Addie, how did your fantasy football team do this week? First question out of the block.
I need the Commies quarterback and Travis Kelce to score a combined 40 points tonight.
That's possible. It's possible. Jared, the Tide Pilots defense, Tampa Bay, scored 28 points. It's possible.
I know, but I think at the same time I need. Oh no! Wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at your game, Ken. I'm really invested in your game.
It's pretty spectacular.
I also need Xavier Worthy to never touch the ball tonight.
Oh, okay. This is what I love, Steve. What fantasy football or fantasy sports does to you. It gets down to the weeds where you're just like, I hope this person breaks their ankle. I need them to be out of the game tonight.
This is what degenerate gamblers feel like, everybody.
I don't want to say that because Mr. Taylor Swift already took Worthy out once, and Ethan's going to yell at me again. But yeah, that's what I need. But like I said, I am to my detriment because Jared is calling me all sorts of names.
Which Jared?
Your Jared. I am thoroughly invested in your game.
Well, I got bad news. My chances of winning fell to 33%. Isaiah Pacheco is essentially a third down running back masquerading as a number one. So his 0.30 points in the second quarter. Not looking good. I think Kelce
show so far.
Yeah. So. Okay. Oh,
I had several underperformances this weekend. I mean this from the nicest place possible. I am not having any fun playing fantasy football. And that is not hyperbole. That is not genuinely, I am not having any fun.
Now imagine if you spent money on this, Addie.
Yeah, imagine if you had a gambling problem like Steve. Addie, what can we do to make this fun? We want this to be fun.
give me a better team. I don't know. It's not fun to lose every week. It's not fun to have all of your starters get injured and be stuck with these like fourth tier English football players who somehow are playing American football. Like, no, this stopped being fun. Honestly, this stopped being fun when Joe Burrow got turf toe.
Oh, because he was your quarterback. Oh no, I've been there in the fantasy baseball side where I've put a lot of money into it. It's a long season, and then like 3 weeks in, the dude that you're like, this guy's gonna carry us, falls downstairs carrying meat into his apartment and like is out for a year, and you're just like, God damn it, like Clint Barmas. If anyone remembers Clint Barmas, that happened. So I feel you, Addie. I feel you, but the pain is part of the fun of being a sports fan, right, Steve?
The pain is what makes the highs feel good. The highs don't feel good if you don't feel the lows of the lows, because that's what makes them so satisfying.
I'm so low.
And I am a Tampa Bay Rays fan. I am familiar with heartbreak and the lowest of the lows.
That's
like,
right.
I'm not a White Sox or a Rockies fan, but I've been there.
This
This is something different because it's not even fun to watch.
Is it? And I mean this from the best of places. Is it a little bit like you said, Addie? It's your team, and so because you drafted your own team, you've done this to yourself, and there's a little bit of like your process and why you hurt yourself. Because that's what I'm going through right now with my team.
I don't even know if it's that, because like I honestly didn't know what I was doing. I think it's more just like it just keeps going. Like the pain is it just keeps going because I can't do anything about it. I've been unable to replace any of these people with anyone decent, except for when I somehow tricked Adam Knight into trading me Matt Stafford.
You can't say that out loud, Addie. I'm the commissioner of the league.
He's Canadian.
You're making me
all
look
right?
bad.
Let's be honest. He thought he had drafted Doug Flutie in the Toronto Argonauts, and it didn't go that way. I will say this. This is our first year of doing this. A lot of pressure was put on Steve. He handles this a lot, and he was, a lot going on. I do think next year the goal is to have 2 leagues and have maybe 12 a league, maybe 16 in one league is a lot.
16 is a lot, especially for a lot of people who are doing their first time or not regular fantasy players. 16 is a lot. But I thought part of the fun would be the chaos, and so what is Addie's suffering is definitely Jared the Tie Pilot's pleasure. So, there's mixed feelings to go around. Addie, my advice. What I love is that this segment turned not only into it was not only the fantasy football, but we kind of came halfway back to the advice segment anyway. So we're kind of exactly. So Addie, my advice to you would be turn that frown upside down. Be glad that you didn't spend $100 on this fantasy team the way I spent $100 on my current 2-5 fantasy team, and that the team that doesn't spend any money is the team that's doing well for me this year. So I have to be bitter about that. We don't play fantasy sports because it makes it fun. We play fantasy sports because we're all haters, and it gives us an excuse to pay as much. It's so that when we feel better about spending 5 hours sitting on a couch Sunday watching dudes hit each other and give each other CTE, we can at least say, oh, well, I was watching because, I had to keep track of my fantasy team.
Love that. Addie, a lot to ask you about. I have questions for you, but do you have anything for us?
I'm still puzzled by Steve's explanation of why fantasy football is fun.
It's the pay.
I thought I did a great job.
You have questions for me?
Yeah. We got Wiley
I do
Todd's.
have a question for you, but it's not going to take that long.
Oh, well, hit me now.
For me?
Hit me now. Hit me now. What's your question?
In today's economy, should I spend hard-earned money on candy to give to strangers in an effort to meet the people who live in my apartment building?
Oh, that's a good wrinkle, Steve. She came in there in the fourth quarter with that pass and hit a touchdown there. That's a great question, Addie. What? This is different. Is this different kind of meeting people than what Wiley Todd's got going on? Or are you just trying to expand your social network? Well, I maybe asked that question wrong. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I there is no one in particular in mind.
Okay.
I don't know most of the people. The only people I interact with who live in my building are married and have like a 4-year-old son.
Right.
The apartment building is doing a thing where they're encouraging trick-or-treating even for adults, which I think is a little strange. That we're supposed to go, and if we get a thing to hang on our door, it means like we are a trick-or-treat location. They're also encouraging us to sit out on our porches, but my porch is on the 4th floor, so that really wouldn't work unless I want to hurl candy at people.
Who's doing the organizing on this, Addie? This sounds like swinger recruiting.
The office of my apartment complex.
They're not having people with pineapples on their door. This
isn't Janet on the top floor who's like passing out flyers. This is like actually the apartment complex, because this sounds.
There is one
like
building in the. There's a neon pineapple in the window in the building across the street.
Oh, well, that's a party. I hope you get the invite to their Halloween party. All right, so Francis agrees. I think I approve of spending the $11.99 on a bag of mixed assorted chocolates to just kind of expand not just your social circle, but your help network in the case of a natural disaster. That's what I think.
Okay.
Steve, does that not work for you?
That was just what natural disaster just wasn't the angle I was expecting there. That's fine.
Look,
no, I think it's good to buy the candy to continue to, uphold social norms in our crumbling society, but that natural disaster works too.
I barely know my neighbors, but if a major Los Angeles earthquake happens, we're all going to have to survive together. If I can get to know them a little bit through an assorted chocolate bag, I think that's valuable.
It's assuming a lot.
Addie's got hurricanes to worry about.
Well, but not everyone usually makes it through that initial.
What's your natural disaster?
If there's 10 people, the president.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
The United States nuclear arsenal.
Oh my God! I watched House of Dynamite last night. Oh boy, that's a great movie. But I sat in silence 20 minutes after the movie ended. Just sat there for silence for 20 minutes.
This Addie's neighbor talk does bring up. I had a question for Advice Monday, Ken, and I mean Addie's here. We're talking about neighbors, but I had petty advice because I have a bone to pick with my neighbors. Okay. I'm not trying to pursue any of my neighbors the way Addie is, but I want to make sure we close the loop on Addie's.
I'm not pursuing anybody.
No. I'm not suggesting romantic. I'm just saying, you want to increase your social circle. You feel as though you need to, right? What's driving that desire?
Just that I was walking this afternoon and realized, one, I don't know I don't even know the names of the couple with the 4-year-old son. At some point I probably did, but I don't know them anymore. But I don't know anyone on my hallway. I knew my across the way neighbors. They moved out. I don't know the new ones except she goes to work early. I know
Addie's to the peephole. She's leaving again. 6:55.
The woman at the end of the hallway who makes everybody leave their shoes outside of her apartment in the hallway. Her husband recently took a job in California and moved out.
There's a lot going on there.
I have questions about that.
I have a lot of questions. First of all, I'm not hanging out of that apartment. You make me take my goddamn shoes off.
Yeah,
right? What? I don't care. Whatever the reason, cultural. I don't care. We're not sympathetic.
Someone's going to steal my shoes.
I worry about that too. Okay.
Speaking of, but I just am I don't I have coworkers. And I have a couple girls I hang out with that I met through a trading card game I no longer play. But I don't have a lot of friends.
I have magic addiction issues too. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. No. So this is, I am saying.
And sometimes I see girls at the pool reading books I like.
Oh, that's a great way to start a conversation, right? Hey, I like Catcher in the Rye too. I don't know. That's the only book I know, Steve.
Romantasy, Ken. Romantasy. Spicy.
I like Flowers in the Rye. Is that a book, Steve? No, probably not. Addie, you are being driven by you're being driven by a good, just your intuition is good on this. You want to increase your social circle. $11.99 for a bag of assorted chocolates. You get that crackle. Take the crackles out. Save them for yourself. Those dirty little kids don't need the crackles. Save those for yourself. But then you get to know the names of the people that might save you when that hurricane comes.
That's fair. Now, before we get to Steve's very important question that he was going to diverge into, have you watched The Perfect Neighbor yet?
I have not. I saw it up there. I did sit down and made myself some orange chicken, rice, and broccoli last night, and I watched The House of Dynamite. Whew, so good. But I didn't want to take the dive into that yet. Have you? What's the thoughts?
I watched it last Wednesday on my mental health day. That was a choice. Wow. Just
okay.
I don't want to spoil anything, but people be crazy. People be crazy.
And so that's the counter. And thank you for those with the World Series updates. That's the counter to us saying get the candy and meet your neighbors. Maybe you don't. So this is the either or, right? This is what's hanging over it.
But there's part of it that's like, I don't want to become that lady.
Right. Okay. Then I still stand by the candy. Because
obviously you and Steve know what I'm talking about, but Detective McCarcel has no idea what I'm talking about. The Perfect Neighbor is a documentary that is probably going to win the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature. It is entirely made of body cam footage, and it is about this woman in Florida who continually called the cops on her neighbors because she didn't like the kids playing in the empty lot next door, and tragedy ensues.
All right, maybe don't get that candy. Maybe don't get that candy. I don't know. Look, we're all House of Dynamite taught me we're all done for. So maybe just get the candy, enjoy it by yourself. Okay.
You have questions for me. Steve has questions for me. Somebody has questions for me.
Well, I guess, I was going to ask regarding Wiley Todd and his ongoing story here. Do you have thoughts on if, let's just say, someone was like, I don't know, in your department, I don't know what's going on in the faculty there, and they're like, oh, I like this Dr. Addy. I'd like to maybe declare my intentions, but it's kind of a weird time. How would you want them to go about doing that? And maybe we can have that be filtered towards Wiley.
So I appreciated last week. I was on a walk and listening to last week's episode. I missed it. I had to take a speaker to dinner. I appreciated that we all landed on don't DM her ahead of time and then show up at the show, because as a woman, I would find that incredibly creepy.
Okay. Because it was because there was no, this was the starting point. This wasn't someone, she didn't have an active interaction going on with Wiley. This was 0 to 70. Is that what I gather?
Especially with the detail of he doesn't actually, it's not like, oh, we knew each other in high school and then we lost connection and now we're reconnect. Right. Like, he doesn't actually know this person. So like, it would feel a little stalkery.
Yeah, I get that.
To be like, I messaged you and maybe you messaged me back, maybe you didn't, and now I'm here at your show.
And now I'm here watching your music. Yeah.
Like, to me, that's how the true crime documentary starts.
Yeah. Yeah, usually is. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with that. Okay, no, asked, answered. I appreciate that perspective on it. How would you then want the ice to be thawed if it's at all possible? Maybe it just isn't possible in this situation.
No, I am really a fan of the advice you gave, that like the going with a friend who does know her or did know her, that can be like, hey, Rebecca, this is my friend Wiley. He also went to high school with us and he's in the music biz too. Like, I like that third party connection angle.
Right.
It feels the like least icky.
Okay. No. Okay.
To use a technical term.
That was my question, Steve. I concede the floor to you.
Oh, I still think it's Lily Allen, by the way. So my question, I think my question was not directed at. My question was just it was an advice question based on my neighbors. I need some petty advice.
Oh yeah, okay, we can help.
Don't shoot them.
No, I'm not gonna shoot anybody. I don't even have a firearm. So
I watched the
then
perfect.
someone asked earlier in chat, are these the neighbors who have children that are too young to use power tools? No, that's a whole different story. But these are my next door neighbors who are building some kind of either addition onto their house or they're building a deck of some kind out in the back. A porta potty was erected on my property line yesterday, Ken. Yeah, and like right on the property line.
A legally mandated porta potty for the construction.
And so that's how I knew. I was like, oh, they're gonna be here for a minute. This is not a weekend Lowe's do it DIY project, right?
Yeah.
And then pallets appeared next to the porta potty, like pallets of rocks and stones and all sorts. So they're building some shit and whatever.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Even before this construction tearing down of the east wing that's going on right next to my house started, these neighbors constantly park their car in front of our house. Okay. Like all the time. Okay. Also, side part, these people just purchased a Tesla. I understand if you had a Tesla like 3 or 4 years ago or whatever, but if you in 2025 buy a Tesla, I'm going to judge you. I'm sorry.
We know who you are. We know who you are.
Just an aside, putting that back to the side, going back to the rest of the story. So these people, they don't park the Tesla in front of our house, mind you. That's always in the driveway. Okay.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
But their other 2 or 3 cars are for whatever reason always parked in front of our house. Now we have a tiny feudal poor man's 1-car garage, Ken, and a 1-car driveway. So we're plebeians and have to put one of our cars in the street if one of us wants to pull a car out of the garage or out of the driveway, right? So me or my wife are forced to be on the street at one point or another.
Okay.
These people have a luxurious 2 or even on a good day 3-car driveway, right? So they've got plenty of real estate and the cars are never parked in front of their house, right? So there is a truck in the driveway, a Tesla in the driveway, nothing in front of their house. And then 2 of their cars parked right in front of my house to the point where the mailman is getting pissed at us because he's like, you guys can't park your car that close to the mailbox. I'm like, bro, it's not even my car. What do I do?
I'm going to stop you right there, Steve, because I watched a Judge Judy episode about this when I had COVID.
Okay. What did Judge Judy determine?
The street is public property. You can't control who parks in front of your house.
Correct. And I have a neighbor who yells at people and he parks his late father's truck in front of it and blocks it. And I get upset at him. But for the last 3 days, there's been a beat up large pickup truck working on the house across the street. But the work has stopped. But the truck is still there as if it doesn't work anymore. And it's literally right in front of my house. I can't put my trash cans out. And Addie's right, Steve. But what can be accomplished in the dead of night with a small knife and a tire or 5 is what I think you need to do. Street justice.
Here's the thing. I think ring cameras have kind of ruined suburban street justice in that sense. Kids can't even get like away with like ding dong ditching anymore or like toilet papering trees, like because everything's on a ring camera nowadays. But I mean, that's the escalation. I was just going to start parking my car in front of their house as just like an FU, like both cars very specifically in front of their house. Our driveway is wide open. I was going to keep my garage door open as an extra FU, just so they could just see, look how how much glorious space I have here. But no, I'm going to park my car in front of your house so that when you wake up in the morning, because you don't see the porta potty on your side, because there's no window on your side of the house where the porta potty is, but there's a window on where me and my master bedroom, I open my window, boom, porta potty. But now they will then open up their front windows and see.
I like this plan.
You know, my cars are
I
fine,
like this.
I like this plan.
Steve,
Yep.
Okay. Is a construction crew doing this?
Yes. Oh yeah, it's all professional and all that kind of stuff. We don't have an HOA. So like that is the one thing is our neighborhood is like the Wild West where there's no HOA. So all this is above board. I'm not like one of those guys that's all like, oh, you can't do that. I'm not like NIMBY like that. But it's just
no.
Don't love the idea of a porta potty just chilling on my property line for 2 weeks. That's all.
I was I was just going to suggest seeing if they filed the proper permits, and if not, reporting them to the city.
You could do that.
Yeah, in this administration, no one's going to do anything anyway. Let's be honest. There's no laws anymore. Street justice, like Ken said, if we're going to get anything done, it's going to have to be done with street justice.
We once called the city on our neighbors for leaving palm fronds out between our two houses for months, which is illegal. It's a fire hazard here in LA. So I did eventually. We and the landlord pushed towards the city, and they came out and fined them. But it's rare. This is why street justice exists, Steve.
I like.
See, but the guy that lives across the street from you, Ken, whose driveway you're going to move into, if you need to. So again, that house is like vacant as far as we know. We just know the guy that lives next door. He mows the lawn, so he gets to park his old like rickety van in the driveway, which is what you're going to park next to. Oh, so what I want to do is give him $50 and be like, hey, can we just park like the shaggin' wagon like right in front of their house?
I like this.
So we can get all three cars there.
Yeah. Okay. Addie?
No, I like this incredibly petty move. I endorse it.
Yep.
Okay.
I endorse street pettiness since street justice cannot be enacted. Thank you, Dr. Addy. And sorry about your fantasy football team. Maybe next year we'll find some fun for you.
Maybe next year Joe Burrow won't stub his toe and be out for the season.
It's unlikely with his injury history at this point. I think we've learned this now about him and Tua. At one point, they're going to miss some time. Addy, also keep us updated on the Halloween candy, please.
Yeah, I guess I have to go to the store.
$11.99 for your future. Thank you, Dr. Addy. We'll see you. All right. With fronds like that, who needs enemies? Can we time out Laserbolt for wordplay? Wiley Todd said, thanks, Addy, Stephen Ken. I want to get this question really quick from Dylan, and we'll do some sports and get on out of here. The World Series has begun Game 3. Got an update there. Dylan Barry of the Dylan Barry Network checking in. Advice Monday. I'm naturally an introvert, but I feel that I need to push myself more to network and meet people for work and for personal life. How do you guys overcome that? Do you feel that? Do you feel me? I am more of an extrovert than I thought I would be growing up because I was a really shy. You can't believe how shy I was, kid, into young adult, introverted. But I always wanted to be extroverted. I used to never dance at weddings. And I remember one time sitting at a wedding, Steve, and I was watching everyone dance. It was my cousin's wedding, and everyone was having fun. And the people would come over, and they'd be like, hey, come dance. And they'd pull like my cousins, family members, just getting wild and dancing. And I would fight them. There was one wedding in 1999 where the bride was like, come on out. And she grabbed me, and I pulled and then yanked it away to a point where the whole table goes, oh. I fought it, not because I didn't want to, but because I wanted to so much, and I felt everyone would judge me. I had to overcome that once through alcohol, which is not always the best way. A friend of mine at a company party put down a rum and diet in front of me and said, drink that and get on the fucking dance floor. And I've never left the dance floor for the last 21 years. So applying that to Dylan's thing is Dylan, you might just have to make that effort to just go outside. Kind of what we're talking about earlier with Wiley, of just no expectations. You're not going to meet a bunch of people. Networking isn't handing out business cards. It's relationships. It's forming those relationships. And I think at some point, you might just have to force yourself.
Yeah, I think that, networking it's also a product of your environment, right? Like if you work from home, it's a lot harder. I used to work at a job where I commuted every day, worked with a group of people, went out for drinks after, that kind of stuff. Now I work from home, and it's me and a dog all day. And so I think depending on your life situation, obviously that's a big deal. But I think the easiest way to kind of take that first step is to find that common ground. We talk all the time about like finding your people, finding your community. Are you a nerd? Go to your local game shop, play some Magic, play some D&D. It's like people just assume like the big social things like the bar and everything like that are just like, that's such a different filter. You know what I mean? From a level of trying to find or like social expectation of like talking to a stranger kind of a thing. Yeah. So I always advocate people like be around who you think your people are, because it's a more ripe opportunity for that kind of natural meeting.
I love that. Great advice. I love Advice Mondays. All right, let's do a quick swing through sports, and if we got time here, we are going to do the dementia test on me, which might be scary.
I promise it's very fast. I
A
promise
little
it's very
scary.
fast.
Some things in sports. First of all, big news. I was 5-0, Steve, this week on NFL picks.
Yeah, the one freaking week I don't bet on it because I was busy this weekend. I'm like, nah, it's, blah, 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 fiscal responsibility. Not going to bet on any of Ken's picks. And you go 5-0, you bastard. Like, God, Colts, Texans, Broncos, Packers, Dolphins, all nailed, every single one of them.
And all the covers and the odds and all that stuff
Oh, my gosh.
cleared. It was great. It's embarrassing, Steve, how excited I am for a 2-6 Dolphin team. It should not be the case. But it was a thorough shellacking. And granted, the Falcons had 2 key players out, including their starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins was it, and it didn't look good. I don't know if he's going to get traded to a good team at all this week. I don't know.
I think it's done for Kirk.
Yeah, I think it's done for Kirk. But it was great. And our offense looked different. 140 yards plus running on the ground with all 3 running backs. That's one of the reasons my fantasy team did good this week. Ollie Gordon had his best professional game. This is why I love sports, Steve. 7 weeks of pain, 1 week of fun.
They reel you right back in, right when you're ready to jump off the edge with the hope and everything. But yeah, I think you've got a big game coming up as far as okay, is this real? Like, can we actually do this? Are we actually a real football team playing against the Ravens? Lamar Jackson will be coming back, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that on Thursday, I'm sure. But, maybe no, we're all horror Thursday. So we'll get picks in. We'll get picks in quick, maybe.
I'll tell you what, should I make the Dolphin pick now?
I mean, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let me talk about them really quick while I find the line.
Okay, Steve's going to find the line. The Dolphins are going home. They'll be home against the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are, but Tyler Snoop Huntley, our quarterback for like 2 weeks last year, played great this week, but he is out. Lamar Jackson back in, local boy, coming home to Miami. That might add a little bit more energy to his return. Baltimore, historically, a better team over the last 20 years, so I fear them naturally. But I got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty confident. But what is the line, Steve?
7.5 points, Ken. You're getting 7.5 points at home. Vegas likes the Ravens with Lamar Jackson coming. The Ravens, as bad as they are this year, just defense-wise, Lamar Jackson being out, the Ravens are now the betting favorite to win the AFC North. Because the Steelers lost last night. So they would be one of the worst teams in the modern era by record through the first 5 weeks of the season to make the playoffs if they do so. Okay. But who can break that record? Your Miami Dolphins if they go on a run.
Right. I really like what we did. The problem is the Falcons had a lot of key players out, and that's why we're able to focus on boxing in that runner there, Robinson. We got, what's his name? Derek, who's what's now? The really good guy.
Stingley?
No. Who's
Derek
the running
Stingley?
back?
No. Which one?
The Ravens running back.
Devon A-Chain? Oh, the Ravens running. Oh, Derrick Henry. Oh, we're talking about the Ravens. Yeah, Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hate to do this to myself. 1 week of joy.
Uh-oh.
Dolphins are going to lose, but they're going to cover, Steve. It's going to be close. It's going to be frustratingly close. But we're going to, you said 7.5? We're going to be
7.5. Taking those 7.5. Okay, I like it. We're going to use those 7.5 points. No, I dig that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a hope game. It's a blueprint game. It's a blueprint. If they can win that game, they've got a chance.
I'll tell you that. I hope as a Dolphin fan, I hope I go 4-1 this week. I hope I go 4-1. The Dolphins mess up. Francis, for the love of God, you've eaten twice today already. All right. So that's that. All right, quickly though, bad week in the NFL. You were like, this is a bad week for NFL, horrible. And that includes the Steelers. Atrocious throwback uniforms. They do this more than any other team. I do not like the throwback uniforms past 1971. I think we don't need them. Everyone looked ridiculous last night.
Well, my Kelly Green uniforms that the Eagles wear look absolutely beautiful. That
those are good.
The Giants ass
those are
yesterday.
Good.
But yes, no. The Steelers do this thing where they get cute and decide that we're going to have these random. They had the famous Bumblebee jerseys for a few years there. Then they had some marketing guy over the summer that was like, okay, how can we? Everyone talks about how horrible the Bumblebee jerseys are. So for social engagement, how can we make those even worse? Mm-hmm. So they decided to do some weird military thing. I don't know if it's military meets Pittsburgh thing. It was bad. And then Aaron Rodgers is sitting there wearing a mustard yellow helmet There's a Green Bay logo on the scorebug. I'm 6 beers deep after a day of football. My brain is so goddamn confused. Like, wait a minute. I'm seeing Aaron Rodgers in a yellow helmet, but he's not on Green Bay. Oh, wait, Green Bay's wearing white. It was just weird, bizarro world. And the football yesterday sucked. Everyone got their ass kicked. There was like the only good game was like the Jets and the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
So
I picked up Justin
even the
Fields.
sports gods are mad at us now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you think it's too much parody? What's the reason? You just said it was just a bad weekend.
I think these happen sometimes. I think that there weren't a ton of like super interesting matchups. Mm-hmm. I think like the two broadcast A teams yesterday were Eagles Giants and Broncos Cowboys. So, right. The Broncos Cowboys, that's like not a terrible game, but it just wasn't the best. There's also a lot of bye teams this week, 6 teams on a bye, so a little bit less to pick from. But and today's just shout out October 27th. Today is the sports equinox. We have Monday Night Football, the World Series, NBA, and NHL all happening on the same day. Okay. It's just a little sports little nugget for there.
There we go. We won't. Well, we'll sneak in picks up top on the show Thursday. How about that? Then we're going to get straight into deciding the best horror villain on Thursday. So I can also have time to get off and maybe watch the second half of the Dolphin-Raven game on Amazon Prime, of which I am a member. But quickly, before I leave, you're going to administer this cognitive test to see if I can be president of the United States. Let's leave with this. Hit me, Steve.
That is indeed correct. Okay. So let's see if I'm gonna switch my screen here and see how this looks in the middle here. Let me take a look. See if I need to make it smaller. I can. I'm probably gonna have to make that a little bit smaller. Okay, let's. We're just producing live here, folks. Boom, that'll do. I can make this work. Okay, Ken. So the first question is a test of your memory recall. Okay. Okay. So you're gonna look at these words you see on the screen here: eagle, coffee, laptop, microphone, flag. Just remember those words, okay?
Okay. Eagle, coffee, laptop, microphone, flag. Okay.
Okay, this is all the time you get. Boom. Next question. You need to tell me what time these 3 clocks are reading. Left to right.
Okay, 10:45, 4:45, 10:15.
Okay, so the first one's 9:45 because it's almost at the 10. It's not quite at the 10. It's getting to the 10. Yeah. The second one is in fact 4:45, and the third one is 10:15. So you got that one. So it's okay. You're allowed to get one of those right or wrong. As sad as it sounds, you actually still passed that question because you got 2 of the 3. Okay. So congratulations. Okay. Next question. Mm-hmm. Name that animal. Long neck, eats leaves.
A giraffe.
Yeah, attaboy. There you go. Okay. Next question. Math. Starting with 100. Subtract 7 and do it 5 times. So 100 subtract 7 is
93.
Okay, subtract 7 more.
Oh god, and then 80 80.
Don't worry, you get 10 seconds per one, so don't worry, there's no rush.
93 to 86 to 79 to 62. How many more do I have left to go? To 55?
I think we already screwed that up, but it's okay.
What? Wait, what did I do wrong?
I'm checking your math again. Sorry, I lost my number here. Okay, yeah. So you said 99. You said 97. We started at 90.
No, I said 93. I said 93.
Okay.
Then I said 86.
Okay.
Then I said 79. Then I said 62. Then I said 55.
Nope. Yeah, that's where you got it wrong. 72. You got 79, 72, 65.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but
100,
I got it right.
93, 86, 79, 72, 65. Again, Ken, you get 2 of those wrong. You can get 2 of those wrong and still pass the test.
The results, the greatest results of all time. I nailed the test. I nailed it. I had the right thought process there. I'm not crazy. Okay.
And then now back to your memory recall. What were the words?
Oh, eagle.
Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen.
I'm not looking at the screen. I'm not looking at the screen. Eagle, coffee, hold on, eagle, coffee, microphone, something, and flag. Oh, man.
Eagle, coffee, laptop, microphone, flag.
Oh,
you got 4 of the 5. Again, passing grade, 4 of the 5. Congratulations, Ken. You are absolutely eligible to be the next president of the United States.
the results, they're saying the best of all time. They're saying nailed the test. AOC and Jasmine Crockett couldn't keep up with me. They wouldn't know. Don't even know what a microphone is. Okay. I did it.
Crushed it.
I did it. That's how we do it. Love that. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Steve. Thank you to our guest, Greg Benevent. Follow Greg down below. Please give him a follow on Instagram and comment on his videos and say, hey, found you on the Blathering. That really helps and helps him as well. He is a comic trying to make it in this town as well. Thursday, big show. We're going to decide the best horror villain of all time with a one-night blather bracket. I'm trying to get special guests calling into the show to defend some of their choices, so stay tuned for that. We'll do quick picks up top, but everything else will be right for the blather bracket. That's it. All right. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.